Uh-oh.
These steers grow up on our pasture eating the grass out there, and then we grain finish them, so they eat grass and grain for the last maybe 5-6 months. We just give them a little bit, but it's really expensive to buy it in the 50-pound bags, so I've figured out a way to buy it in bulk. And normally you need a big feed truck for that and have to buy it like several tons at a time, but the local feed place has agreed to let me do it this way. These plastic water bins are made for water or different chemicals or oils or whatever, and they're really handy, and there's lots of them around here. They're stackable. But what I did was I took the top pieces off that were up here, the top part of the cage, so that I could cut this all the way around and make a lid for it, and I just put it on hinges so that we can hinge that up and it opens all the way up. When it's closed, it's all the way sealed, so water just runs off the side. Water doesn't get in there. They work really well. But there's one problem I have that keeps happening, and I need to fix it. What happens occasionally when I go to get these filled is that the grain will start coming out of their big hopper. It'll hit right here and it will collapse this side in, and then grain just spills like tons all over the side of the ramp. And then I have to take a snow shovel and shovel it all the way in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rivet this edge to each one of these side pieces right here so that they cannot collapse, so we don't have that problem anymore. Okay, I have these both done. On the first one, I did them all along this top row here, but it was just making the lid a little tough to close. So on the second one, I got smarter, and I just did one at the top there, and then did these ones lower all the way around here, so that the top part of the lid can still be kind of pushed in, so that the lid will close easier, but still will prevent it from collapsing. So I think that'll do the trick. And we'll find out tomorrow morning when we go to get more feed. Today we're going to the feed store to pick some more up. You can see right here, these are those totes that we keep the grain in, and of course today is like super cold and rainy. We couldn't do it on a day that's easy and dry, but we're on our way over there and see this little system we got figured out. So when we get there, the first step is to drive the truck and trailer up onto this big scale, and then you'll see here that I just get out of the truck so that they can weigh the truck without me in it. Once I get the thumbs up from them, I just jump back in and bring it around to the loading hopper. You can see that it's built pretty high up off the ground for those big feed trucks I was describing before, but for this little trailer, I have to make sure that I get it right underneath there, and even then you'll see that it's not always a perfect science. It was about 3/4 full, and we probably should have just been content with that, but the guy thought he could put a little bit more in, and we gave it a try, and you'll see that we wish we hadn't. You probably noticed that even though he had shut it off, there was a lot of grain that was still coming out. It's just not that precise of a thing, so next time if we get anywhere near the top, I'll tell him to stop. Because now you see that it's spilled all over, even though the container didn't collapse. And I'm still stuck with the snow shovel shoveling. So one of these times I'm actually going to make it through this whole process without having to shovel a bunch of grain, but this was another time. After a little bit of shoveling, I pulled up a little bit, and it went great in the second bin. we got everything cleaned up, it's just a matter of pulling back around on that scale so that I can go into the office and they can give me the finished weight. All right, I'll be right back out. All right, so we got 1620 pounds, and now we're done with the scale, so now we're gonna go over to the store and pay for it. Even after all that shoveling, look how much is still on that trailer. That's a pretty good pile right there. I might try to get that in the bin. This truck was totally clean. It's misted now with grain mist, grain dust. Have to take it through the car wash, I guess.